Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group will present for cybersecurity project and we choose Astro Malaysia Holdings Berhad. Assalamualaikum, my name is Farah Shazwani binti Muhammad Rozi. For the introduction, what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the use of technology, processes, and control to prevent cyber assaults on systems, devices, data, networks, and programs. The goal is to limit the risk of cyber assaults and secure systems, networks, and technology from unauthorized use. There are several categories of cybersecurity, which are operational security, information application, application security, network security, and user education, and business continuity and disaster recovery. Today's digital world is full of potential risks and threats that appear every hour of every day. It is possible that hackers are targeting large companies such as Astro Malaysia Holdings Berhad for their own profit. In this project, we will discuss 3 risks out of 10 security challenges faced in 2021 that are likely to happen to Astro Malaysia Holdings Berhad, along with solutions to prevent them from happening.
Hello, my name is Stanley Eldon Anadadu. So I will proceed with the company background. Astro is a significant integrated consumer media entertainment company in Malaysia and Southeast Asia, with operations in 4 key areas: pay TV, radio, publications, and digital. Astro has 170 TV channels, including 37 HD channels, supplied via direct-to-home satellite TV, IPTV, and OTT platforms to a client base of over 3.58 million residential consumers, or over 53% of Malaysian TV homes. Through Astro Beyond and Astro on the Go, Astro provides HD, 3D, PVR, VOD or video on demand, and IPTV services. Astro debuted Enjoy as an entry-level DTH satellite TV service and the country's first non-subscription based satellite TV, fulfilling its commitment to bridge the digital divide for all of Malaysia. Enjoy offers 22 TV and 20 radio channels. Next, this is the most significant achievement by Astro, which is they have won the Putra Brand Awards Gold for the media and entertainment category for 4 years in a row as the People's Choice.
First, phishing attack. Phishing attacks are one of the most common security challenges faced by companies and individuals in keeping their information safe. Other than gaining access to credit card details and password, hackers use email, phone calls, instant or text message, social media, and every other methods of communication by which they can obtain valuable data. Therefore, the largest companies such as Astro Malaysia Holdings Berhad are very worthwhile target for hackers. Phishing attacks can happen to Astro companies in a variety of ways. Among of them are spear phishings, email phishings, smishings, and others. Threats that may occur if an attacker collects information by sending an email, which are spoof email that contain ransomware. For example, one of Astro employees received an email from corporate IT asking them to install new software to get customer information in an easy and fast way. The employee installed the software without making any investigation into the email received. So the hackers get exposure to all Astro customer information, and then the hackers can use the information to target Astro users by starting fake monthly bills. It is very easy to be attacked like this if they do not know how to prevent it. Other than that, companies fall victim to phishing attacks due to careless and naive internet browsing. For example, some employees use company devices such as computer or laptop for personal purpose, and because they are too careless and naive, they then click on link from unknown source. So this can lead to virus or malware infections. So there are many types of phishing attack that can happen to Astro Malaysia Holdings Berhad if not prevented. The first solution is educate employees and conduct training seasons with mock phishing scenarios. Employees should be trained on safety awareness as part of their orientation programs. Inform them on the risk of opening attachment in emails from someone they do not know. Moreover, tell them that no trustworthy website will ask for their password by email, and they also should be careful about which browser they use. From right to left, read all the URLs, and the true domain is the last address. Sites that start with IP addresses are fraudulent, as are secure URLs that do not use HTTPS. In addition, to avoid clicking on harmful links, train employees to detect phishing attacks. For example, if the domain of the redirected URL does not match the specific domain, it is fake. Therefore, employees need to ensure that they understand all the risks they will face when these threats occur to companies, especially large companies. The second one is to use phishing simulation tools to monitor employee knowledge and to identify who is at risk for a cyber attack. One of the common methods of the phishing protection measure for online user is an anti-phishing tools. The tools can verify a website without requiring user to be anti-phishing expert. It analyzes the website by comparing them to a blacklist of phishing URL. Due to the construction of page specialists who identify phishing sites and record URLs into blacklists, the variety of phishing URL will be updated in the list and the quantity of blacklisted URLs will be numerous. Furthermore, anti-phishing tools also can be implemented at several levels, including server client side, server side, and client side. The server-side phishing email filtering tools can be implemented on the server to prevent phishing attacks. Meanwhile, client-side anti-phishing tools might be incorporated with web browsers like Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome to track every action taken by users and notify them if they browse phishing website.
Alright, the second risk that Astro may face is an insider attack. So let's proceed with the definition. Insider attack comes from within the target company, and it involves current or former employee who has unauthorized access to sensitive information of the company. Next, the type of insider threats. The first one is malicious insiders, those who purposely exploit legitimate credentials to steal information for personal or financial gain. For example, um, a former employee with a vendetta against the company, or an opportunistic employee who sells confidential knowledge to a competitor. Uh, they have teamed up with other attackers since they know about the company's security policies as well as its weaknesses. The second type of insider threats is negligent insiders. They are the person who carelessly or accidentally or unintentionally expose the system to external threat. For example, an employee who has no malicious intentions, but uh, he or she clicked on an unprotected link and infect the system with malware. So I will proceed to the solutions that I proposed. So the first solution, educate employees on data security, security policies, and common security threats. Employees must be aware of the security policies and procedure of the company. They must be made clear about the importance of company data. Focus on access restrictions, what's um, shareable and what's not. Employees will less likely to make mistakes or commit crime if they receive consistent, clear message about the company's policies and regulations. The second solution is focusing on protecting the IT infrastructure, which includes 5 steps. So the first step is identification. Create risk scenario or trial to identify all potential hazards that could compromise the security of the company's assets. Every possible scenario should be documented, and ideas from each departments should be collected. Specify the mitigation options for each dangers identified before facing an insider attack. The second step is prevention, implementing asset management and movement tracking mechanisms. It is important since it helps the company to be aware and locate different assets at any given time. This is because assets containing sensitive information can be transported from one facility to another and being lost or damaged in the process. They must be able to locate the company, basically, must be able to locate relevant data in order to fulfill asset and data decommissioning requirements. The third step is control. It should be concentrating on insider threat management and the solution in order to prevent the company in case of an attack. Begin by implementing the ability to manage accounts and account access from a central location. Streamlining access control can improve the capacity to examine any difficulties. The company can control access to a database, systems, or files using tools such as biometrics, firewalls, cryptography, and etc. The fourth step is detection. Installing auditing and monitoring technologies in the environment allows the company to keep an eye on insider threats. Detection can be accomplished by processes such as the change management process or by setting audit policies for event logging and monitoring. Um, so this one, the next one, SIAM or in full security information and event management. Due to large number of system components involved, since Astro is a very big company, so the components also have many components. So large number of system components involved and the volumes of logs generated by those components, this system is pretty much required. The main benefit of SIEM is their ability to reduce and normalize log data, allowing personnel to gain visibility and make sense of the environment's security status at any given time, and detect security events as they occur, reducing response time and the potential impact of security incidents. So the fifth step is incident response. So basically, in case of a data breach, the organization will have capabilities that will allow them to respond correctly to a legitimate insider attack. Ensure that they have the ability to gather evidence of security occurrence, their associated activities, and their impact. When unusual behavior is noticed or identified, the time it takes for them for the company to react can make a big difference in how far the problem spreads. Create KPIs for security problem triage and test the approach on a regular basis, at least once a year. So since we are mentioning about incident response, so for the next solution is to assess how well the company measures their measures are performing. All of the steps just now are implemented, so the company need to assess on how well they are performing actually, basically. So it focuses on the processes and policies that the company should establish and use to avoid insider attacks from becoming more severe. Examples of policies that the company can make is like, for example, information classification and management policy, risk management policy, assessment and authorization policy, assets management policy, uh, personnel security policy, and internal control policy. Employees also should be given a copy of the company's policies. Um, this last point is very important. Former employee cannot access to all systems in the company as soon as they leave the company.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Azmira binti Sharm Azlan. I am going to explain about software vulnerabilities. First of all, software vulnerabilities, also known as attack surface, are weaknesses or flaws occurred in a system. These vulnerabilities are the root causes of problems for computer security. It comes from a threat actor or an attacker where they perform unauthorized access in a system. Since Astro Malaysia Holdings had data breaches incident on June 2018 and August 2019, this clearly affect their company. The first incident has lost data up to 60,000 customers of Astro IPTV. The customers' data such as full name, IC number, mobile number, portal ID, and packet subscription has been exposed, reported by an online publication, lawyer.net. The hacker offered 4,500 ringgit for every 10,000 records. A little over a year after the first incident happened, the data breach once again happened, where the customers' MyCard data containing their names, IC numbers, date of birth, gender, race, and address has been exposed for about 0.2% of their customers. This was confirmed from their official statement that Astro had discovered unauthorized access into the system. Okay, there are other examples of software vulnerabilities, and the first one is SQL injection. SQL injection is an attack that occurs when the query is infected and sent to the back-end application with codes that performed by the end target. This is a trick to the system used by the attacker to execute unintentional commands provided by the Application Programming Interface (API). This attack was meant to get an access to protected data or execute unintentional command, which is a much more dangerous type of attack. So, how does SQL injection work? So, as you can see here in the figure, the hacker finds an SQL-driven vulnerable website, which means the hacker injects malicious SQL queries through the input data. And next, the malicious code is validated and executed by the web application. And then it will go to the database where hacker has an access to all database information and can read and write existing data. The second example of software vulnerabilities is broken authentication. Broken authentication is an authentication that has been implemented incorrectly. Thus, attackers were able to gain access and take the identity of another user. The last example of software vulnerabilities is sensitive data exposure. Hackers frequently attempt to steal data as it is being transmitted from a user's browser rather than targeting the system directly. Data such as passwords, account numbers, addresses need to be protected properly and securely since it contains personal and sensitive information of an individual. To prevent this attack, Astro should create a secure communication channel. Solutions to software vulnerabilities. Astro Malaysia Holdings should run regular security tests on their application and system to ensure that the application and system stays updated in terms of protection. Security testing helps to detect all potential threats in the application and system as well as the assessment of its potential vulnerabilities. The result of this security test should be used to determine whether the system may or may not be exploited. This will help developers to detect and fix any issues through the use of codes. As you can see here, these are the types of security testing. The first one is vulnerability scanning. The second one is security scanning. The third one is penetration testing. The fourth one is risk assessment. The fifth one is security auditing. The next one is ethical hacking. And the last one is posture assessment. Other than that, almost all the applications created have at least one open source component. If you are not developing a highly confidential application for an organization, the chances that the majority of your codes are made up of open source components. When it comes to optimal security standards, make sure the dependency Astro put in the application don't operate as a backdoor for hackers. Astro must always install dependency from trusted and verified repositories to achieve this. Since many of the attacks that occur are caused by outdated software, the install dependency must always be kept up to date. This can be done either automatically or manually at regular periods using various of applications. The community fixes the reported vulnerabilities and problems in vain if users do not update to the latest version. The last solution to software vulnerabilities is cloudware application. Astro should consider using cloudware application to prevent software vulnerabilities. Cloudware works as identifying security, quality, and reliability issues for C, C#, C++, Java, JavaScript, and Python. This helps in enforcing coding standards compliance. It also assures that their codes are safe from security flaws. In conclusion, a large company like Astro Malaysia Holdings should take seriously about their customers' personal data. The company was breached twice in just a little over a year, thus it is not something to take lightly. With the risk of threats that could come on their way, and the solutions that were provided on this project, Astro should consider stepping up their game, especially in security, since most Malaysians subscribe Astro as their main entertainment at home. The results of checks and the solutions given were to give a head up for them, since anything could happen without anyone knowing. So that was everything from our group. Thank you.